Now we have gone through the basics of note making in NAATI CCL. Now I'll be showing you how we have to do the note making, especially in the exam itself. Now I'll be giving some tips and tricks for your PTE as well, because note making is equally essential in your PTE exam. Now guys, let's look into the practical world of note making and see how we can improve it.
Okay, so first of all, we'll be dividing the page in two different sections. Now it is very important that you divide it in the start of the dialogue, so you're not confused which speaker notes you're writing and in which language you have to interpret. So in one of the section, write LOTE, it can be any native language, and the other side can be English. Now it is very important, guys, that whatever segments the English speaker is speaking, you can write them over here. Whatever the native speaker is speaking, write them over here. Or you can do the vice versa. Whatever you have to speak in English, write them over here. Whatever you have to speak in native language, write over here. So you can choose any way, but I will really advise you guys to stick with one way at least. Now, to start with, write down your introduction. Notes from the introduction are very important to write, because you will understand that a lot of information is already given to you in the introduction, such as names, designation, what is the main topic, and writing those notes will help you to get that background information. So let's start.
Between Reena, a legal advisor, and a Punjabi speaking woman who is there to inquire about child maintenance. The dialogue begins now. Good evening, my name is Reena. How might I help you today?
So in this case, it's good evening, Reena. How might I help you today? So this is the abbreviation we have over here. Now you really need to put a question mark over here so that you can interpret into the question tone. Now good evening, you can basically go through all the abbreviations. We provide students with the list of abbreviations they can choose from, and we provide them the note taking keywords and symbols which they can use in their note taking. Now in this case, if I try to do it in Punjabi, how the interpretation will go: सत श्री अकाल, मेरा नाम रीना है, मैं आज ਤੁਹਾਡੀ मदद किवें कर सकदा हां और कर सकदी हां. So you have to make sure that whatever the speaker is speaking, you follow the tone and you follow the gender as well. If the speaker is a female speaker, we have to speak as a female. If it is a male speaker, we have to speak as a male. So that's very important. So this was the very first segment. We got a name over here, so it's much easier to remember over here. And then we got the topic over here, so we know it's going to be regarding some legal advice. But what is the main topic? Child maintenance. Now the vocab should start, running into your back of the mind, so that you don't face any serious, major difficulties while performing the test. Let's play the another one.
मैं बच्चियां दी रख संभाल दे विषय विच गल करन आई हां. मैं अपने पति तो 4 महीने पहला वक होई हां. कि तुसी मैनू इस बारे होर जानकारी दे के मेरी मदद कर सकदे हो?
Now in this case, what the lady is saying, that I'm here to talk about the child maintenance, and 4 months ago I had a separation with my husband. Can you give me more information about this and help me out? And then again we have a question mark over here. So the follow through process is that go step by step, write down your notes in a certain order so that you don't struggle. So the very first thing was this, it was regarding this, then she got separated 4 months ago. Very important to write the numbers, very important to write names, because you cannot change the information, cannot distort the information in these kind of data, very sensitive information. And then it was a divorce, separation, and she needs more information so she could get a help from them. Moving to the next one.
To learn that, before telling you anything, I need to know more information. Please tell me for how long you were being together and how many children do you have?
Okay, So before helping her out, she needs more information from her. She needs to know a couple of things. First of all, from how long they are living together and how many children they have. Now, it's very important that you don't repeat the same word again and again. So how and how is repeated twice. But are we writing them twice? No. So you really need to make sure that you avoid writing the same words again and again. You can use symbols such as arrows. You can just refer back to that particular word, so you know that you have to speak that word, but you don't really need to write it again. Now that will speed up your content, that will speed up the note taking process. Now this is what you will be doing in the exams, guys. You will be writing the notes, right, like this. So you have to get used to this kind of mechanism. You will not be typing it, you will not be writing on the screen. So writing on a screen is very different, writing on a notebook is very different. So you really need to get used to this particular process so that you are very familiar before going for the exam, guys. Let's move ahead.
ਵੱਖ ਹੋਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ 8 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਨਾਲ ਰਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ। ਸਾਡਾ 5 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈਰੀ ਹੈ।
So before divorce, they were living together for straight 8 years. And they have one son who is 5 years old and his name is Harry. Now, do you see the flow chart, guys? Now, before separation, they were living 8 years together. Now, this sentence structure should be already in your mind from the previous segment. Why? Because they're asking these questions, so most likely they will be answering them in the next segment. So you should be prepared with the length, you should be prepared with the number of kids they have. So with the length, it's 8 years, that from last 8 years they're together. With the kid, they only have one kid, and it's their son who's 5 years old, and his name is Harry. Now name is, we don't need to write that, just write the Harry. That will automatically signifies that you're talking about the name of a son. So some things you really need to avoid, some things you really need to write. So I would advise you guys to write more nouns than anything else, because they are very hard to remember, and you will be able to write them. And if you distort information with the nouns, the high chances you will lose more marks. So write more nouns, and automatically the rest of the scenario will follow through. Rest of the scenario will always be in your mind. You just need to be aware about the total scenario, about the previous segments, what they are asking. Most of the time the conversation for the next segments is related to the previous segments, so you can always relate back, you can always pick out the vocab from the previous segments. Okay, let's move ahead.
Do you work these days? If not, then how are you supporting yourself and your son?
So do you work these days? If not, then how are you supporting yourself and your son? Now, do you work these days? Now, do you work? Now, this is a question mark. These days, you have to keep in your mind. You already got 3 words from the very first sentence, so that's a good start. Now, if not, then how are you supporting yourself and your son? Now, you need to put this one, so you know that you need to say both the things, and again, it's a question mark over here, right? Okay, so the right interpretation for this one would be कि तुसी अजकल काम कर रहे हो, अगर नहीं ते तुसी अपने आप दा अते अपने पुत्र दा किवें ध्यान रख रहे हो, right? So this is the right interpretation. Now you really need to sometimes modify the sentence structure, guys, in order to pass through the message, in order to convey the message. Okay, now again, our main focus is on the message. Vocab is the base, but even if you have very basic vocab, you can still get good marks in your NAATI, only by conveying the right message without additions, without omissions, without distortions. Okay, let's move on.
नहीं, मैं काम नहीं कर रही, मैं ਤਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਦੀ ਦੇਖਭਾਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਗੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਪਿਤਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। ਮੇਰੇ ਪਤੀ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਲਈ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ।
No, I'm not working. I'm actually taking care of my son. My parents are helping me out, and my husband has not given anything to me or my son. Now, in this case, guys, no, I'm not working. Now, working, we have put a symbol over here, cross. That means they asked in the previous segment, are you working these days? And in this segment, we are saying no. Why? Because she's taking care of her kid. Now, her parents are helping them out. So parents help. And husband, did he help? No, he did not give anything to her or her kid. Now, I did not write son over here. This thing you need to keep in your mind. Now, sometimes guys, students miss out the very last portion. Okay, so you really need to understand, sometimes we really need to keep some stuff in our mind so that we don't miss out, so that there is no omission. Now guys, that was it for the note taking process. Now follow this, practice this every day, and if you feel there's any confusion, please contact us back. Thank you guys.
Now you guys have seen it guys, how to do the note making in the exam for your NAATI and for your PT. Now guys, this is a skill which you need to develop over time. So this cannot be improved overnight. So my advice is go and practice all the things which we have covered today and see whether it is working for you or not. And if it is not working for you, that's fine guys. It is not supposed to work on the very first day. So try every single day. Alright, and let us know in the comment sections which things you liked and which things benefited you in your PT and NAATI journey. Now guys, if you have any questions, any queries, contact us on the numbers given below or send us a message or comment us. Someone will be here to help you out. Good luck guys. Thank you.